With you all this morning, and I'm very thankful to Byron and Renee for taking the kids up this morning. I had so much on my mind that I completely forgot to line someone up to do that, so I'm very grateful for that and for them doing it. This morning we've just come through celebrating Thanksgiving this past week, and as your minister of education, I thought it would be only appropriate that we do a little more educating, not just only in the Bible but in other things. And if you were a part of the Harvest Gathering Fellowship, you got some of this education a couple of weeks ago, and so you're going to know some of what I'm about to show. But for the rest of us, it's a little time for some real serious education. So this morning, we're going to do a little turkey trivia and see how much you know about turkeys. So let's take a look at this first question. It says, what are turkey steaks? Are they low-fat microwavable steak, slices of raw turkey, breast meat, deep-fried turkey feet, or leftover turkey burgers? Anybody want to take a guess? B? Let's see, is it B? It's B. All right. Next question. What are male turkeys called? Toms, Harold's, Reds, or dinner? Let's see. Toms. All right. Y'all are smart. I heard someone say that. All right, number 3. What is the mating call of a turkey called? The crow, the gobble, the squall, or the pickup line? Is it B? It's B. All right, 2 more to go. Let's look at this 4th one. The heaviest turkey ever raised weighed how many pounds? 86, 62, 47, or 33? I heard 86. I heard 33. Let's give them the answer. 86 pounds. All right. And our last question this morning. Turkey eggs are twice the size of chicken eggs. What color are they? White with brown spots, brown, tan with brown speckles, or chartreuse? I think I heard someone say C, and I've heard all the kinds of answers. Let's see. It's C, tan with brown speckles. So what in the world does this have to do with the sermon? Absolutely nothing. I just thought it'd be something a little fun to do just to kind of get us started. And it's just kind of associated with Thanksgiving. So you can amaze your friends with this turkey trivia that you learned this morning during the week. Today we're going to take a look at thankfulness. And we have just celebrated Thanksgiving this past week with our friends and families. And even though we celebrate this holiday, do we truly understand what thankfulness is? What is it that you're thankful for? Is it your family, your health, your home or your friends, your relationships with others, your parents, your teachers and professors, your co-workers? Even though we're thankful for these things, do we truly give God thanks for what He has blessed us with? Or do we just go on with our lives without ever acknowledging to Him how thankful we truly are? Do we take time to give thanks even for the smallest things? Or do we just give thanks for only the big blessings that come our way? So as we begin to look at thankfulness this morning, I want you to turn into your Bibles to a Psalm of Thanksgiving. And it's Psalm 100. And in the Pew Bibles, that's on page 427. And I want us to read this together out loud. And so if you'll turn to Psalm 100 in your Bibles, or you can see the words up on the screen, we'll read this together. Let's begin. Shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come before Him with joyful songs. Know that the Lord is God. It is He who made us, and we are His. We are His people, the sheep of His pasture. Enter His gates with thanksgiving and His courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name. For the Lord is good, and his love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations. God is our Creator. He is at the center of our world. We come before him in worship with thanksgiving and praise. We give thanks to him for what he has done for us. Blessings both big and small. This psalm that we just read helps us to remember that even though things may not be going too well for us, we are to remember God's goodness and dependability. We are not to forget that God's faithfulness continues always. We are to be thankful for what God has done for us. And so as we continue on looking, I want you to turn in your Bibles to Luke 17. We're going to take a look at a passage where Jesus comes in contact with 10 lepers. And we're going to see what happens. So it's Luke 17, verses 11 through 19. In the Pew Bibles, that's page 741. Follow along as I read. Now on his way to Jerusalem, Jesus traveled along the border between Samaria and Galilee. As he was going into a village, 10 men who had leprosy met him. They stood at a distance and called out in a loud voice, "Jesus, Master, have pity on us." When he saw them, he said, "Go, show yourselves to the priest." And as they went, they were cleansed. One of them, when he saw he was healed, came back, praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him, and he was a Samaritan. Jesus asked, "Were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? Was no one found to return and give praise to God except this foreigner?" Then he said to him, "Rise and go. Your faith has made you well." Have you ever done something for someone, but they didn't thank you? A few years ago, I came across a story of a man named Frederick Ugla from Myrtle Creek, Oregon, who had that happen to him. And Frederick goes to explain, says, "Several years ago, a neighbor frantically knocked on my door shouting, 'The house next door is on fire.' So I grabbed my fire shop extinguisher and ran barefoot into the smoke-filled house. The fire department and the police credited me with saving the home while they were en route. As one fireman thanked me, he mentioned that if I had owned a bigger fire extinguisher, they wouldn't have needed to call the fire department. The homeowner overheard this remark and shouted at me, 'Next time, buy a better extinguisher,' and walked away. She never thanked me, and to add insult to injury, the fire department kept my fire extinguisher." So how is it that this woman's house was saved, but she didn't thank her neighbor for helping put out the fire? Do we do this to our spouses, to our families? What about our friends? What about God? Do we treat him this way? Look back up at verses 11 through 13. We see it says, "Now on his way to Jerusalem, Jesus traveled along the border between Samaria and Galilee. As he was going into a village, 10 men who had leprosy met him. They stood at a distance and called out in a loud voice, 'Jesus, Master, have pity on us.'